Hey guys, I'm Denoobz,
And I'm Aubni.
and today we got another Minecraft tutorial for you showing you how to make this awesome farm behind us.
The Garden Titan Jr.
Okay guys, let's do it.
So a couple of things to mention before we start is this farm, we suggest that you build it in a east to west axis. One easy way to find it, to make sure that you're building it on the right direction, is to use iron blocks. That way there are lines on top and they point towards like the right axis. So yeah, east to west, just like that. The reason why we need to build it east to west is because we're going to use a lot of minecart rails, and these can be pretty annoying when you're not placing them in the right direction. They can mess up pretty easily, and it's super annoying, and you're gonna go mad if you're making it north to south. And finally, this farm produces cactus or wheat or beetroots. You can choose whichever you want. So we're gonna show in the tutorial how to build each version. So cactus, wheat, or beetroot.
Okay guys, to get yourself started with this farm, you're gonna need to build a platform like this one here. This is exactly 8 blocks wide by 19 blocks long. Then you're gonna want to come out by 1 block and run the entire length of the farm out by 1 block. So these two sides here will be 20 blocks and they're going to come out 1. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys what to do. If you're building the wheat side, then this side is actually going to come up by 2 blocks like that. So that's for our rails to go up and get our rails on the, or get our farm on the same level so that it will line up with the pistons on the other side here where we're doing the cactus, which will only need to come up by 1 block like that. Okay, and then basically what you want to do here is you want to run all the way along back down the length of the farm like so. So on the side with the cactus, you're going to want to make it 5 blocks wide in total, and you're going to want to fill all of this in just like so, filling in all the gaps here in the middle. And on the side for the wheat, you're only going to need this to be 4 blocks wide, and you just want to do the exact same thing. Run the entire length of the farm like so, 4 blocks wide, and then fill all of this in like this. Okay guys, and that should be how the finished product for this part should look. These are our platforms that we can put our rails on. So here we can see that the wheat side's only 4 across and goes up 2 blocks with a 2 wide gap. The cactus side here goes up 1 block with 1 wide gap, and we have an extra row here making 5 in total.
So now that these platforms have been placed, we need to add some rails everywhere on them. So first, let's start with the two middle rows here. We're gonna put rails everywhere. We need to start on the side here where they connect with this little path over here. Just be super careful with that. Sometimes people get mistaken. And now we run them up to the end here. And then we loop them out that way. And then we can start doing the same thing up to the other side here. And then we loop them back out again. And we end up covering the whole place with rails. And now once this middle platform here has been covered with rails, we can go out here and cover this little way here with some more rails. And then we go out and go up there. And once again, cover the whole platform with rails.
Okay guys, you'll notice that the final block here, we've just got a block here for the minecart to hit into. That's just going to send it back around, and we're going to be able to do our unpowering, unloading stations over there. You'll notice that because this is 4 wide for wheat, the block stops on this side, and the cactus is 5 wide, so it'll stop on the other side. Makes no difference. It's just the reasoning for that. Now we have to power them, so what you want to do is you want to come to the same side where you've got your starting, and you want to count 10 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You'll see I've got a little marker here, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a lever, power all of these across all of these here, so just keep it going all the way under the entire farm. Okay, and then you'll see that every part of the farm is powered except for our two starting parts here. That's very, very good. And you'll notice here that we just need to put a lever or something on these blocks here just to power these ones here to get the minecart up the little rails there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to build a minecart drop-off station. So now we need a place for all our items to go. So what we're going to do is we're just going to place a temporary block under here so we can get some chests going. Gotta break that block so nobody gets confused. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to put a couple of hoppers going into the tops here. And these two unpowered rails, we're actually going to change these out for regular rails. And then we're going to put the powered rails. Oop, let's do that correctly. There we go. We're going to put the powered rails here on top of the hoppers. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to place a couple of blocks up like that, so that way once the rails repower, it will push off the minecarts. And now we're going to build our minecart unloading stations. Now to do that, it's very, very, very simple. All you need to do is put a comparator facing out of this hopper here, going into a block. On that block, we're going to put a redstone torch with a block on top of it, so it's always powered. And then we're going to place another block on top of that with a repeater going there. Now immediately you will see that this is powered now. When an item goes into that from the minecart hopper, it will automatically unpower this redstone torch, which will unpower this rail. So the minecart will sit there until all the items have stopped going through the hopper. So there's no more signal. Once that's empty, the signal turns off here, torch turns back on, powers the rail, and sends it off. It's that simple.
So now let's build an on-off switch for this farm. So let's go out 3 blocks, take out the first 2. We need to add a piston here. Then we run 3 more blocks here. We add another piston here, sticky pistons, sorry. And we put a redstone line on top of this and a lever on the side, so when we power it, it pushes the blocks right here. If we unpower it, the minecarts won't go because the rails are unpowered.
Okay guys, so what I'm going to show you next is how to do the wheat side of the farm. If you want to do the wheat or beetroot, this is the side you're going to need. Aubni will show you how to do the cactus on this side. So if you're going to not be doing wheat, then feel free to skip this part of the tutorial and jump ahead a couple of minutes until Aubni's doing the cactus over there. But for those of you who want to do the wheat or beetroot, what you want to do is you want to count in 5 blocks from the end here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to place a block up just like that. Next, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to put some blocks around this one, like so, like that. And then this block here is going to be dirt. So some of you might have guessed this is where our water is going to be. So what we're going to do is then we're going to count out from this block here another 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. So on the 8th block there. Thank you, Aubni. So then again, we're going to put some blocks in around like this, and this will house our water. And again, we're going to want some dirt here. Go ahead and put some water in both of these here. And then what you want to do is you want to fill this entire area with dirt all the way down to the end. But do not go past 4 blocks from here. So count the water source 1, 2, 3, 4. So that way you know you're right at the end here, and you're right at the end here. Once that's all filled in, time to get your hoe out, and you want to till all of this dirt like so. Okay guys, once all that is tilled, you can see we've got perfect coverage here. If you want to extend this out, you could extend it out another 4 blocks. You would then need to do the water sources on the other side there. Alternatively, you could put the water sources in the middle here, but it does mean you have to fidget around with the rails, which is a bit silly. So I think this is perfect for this size farm. Go ahead and then fill all of this area in with wheat or beetroot seeds. Now, time to make a decision if you guys want wheat for bread or for villager trading. then go ahead and put some wheat seeds. If you want beetroots for, I don't know, lots of red dye, then yeah, go ahead and do that. Okay, so once you've got all your seeds in place, what I like to do, this isn't super necessary. You will need to have a wall on the inside here, like this. I like to put a wall around the edge here just because dirt is a bit ugly. Uh, then you can use whatever blocks you like on the outside of the farm. I'm gonna use some glass just because I like to make sure everything's going well. So all you need to do is make a two high wall all around the entire farm like this. Okay, so once you've got to this side here, it's time to place our observer blocks. So what we're going to do for these is we're going to place one observer on the end there, and then every second block. You want to cover up the water like that. We're only going to do every second block. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, yeah, perfect. Okay, so we've got every second block until we get to the 2 in the middle. Now you could do observers on every single block here, or you could do less observers if you're having trouble getting some quartz for whatever reason. But we found that this seems to give us a good harvest rate for our sugarcane. Then what you want to do is you want to go ahead and keep making the wall all the way around like this, and that way our villager can't escape. Okay guys, you're not going to be as lucky as me in creative. You are going to need to get yourself a brown coat villager that has zero food in its inventory. There are plenty of tutorials out there for how to make villager breeders that achieve this. Once you get your hands on one, you're going to want to feed the guy 8 stacks of seeds. This will fill his inventory up with seeds, and he will not be able to fit any wheat into his inventory. So every time he harvests some seeds, the seeds will go into his inventory or onto the ground, and so will the wheat. The hopper minecart can pick up all the wheat. As we can see, he's got some seeds just sitting there, which means, yep, he's definitely full, so we can go ahead and break that. I'm going to re-hoe the ground underneath his feet, and hopefully he'll plant something down there. Okay, there he goes. He's planted there. And once these crops all grow up, then it will be all sweet. And that is the entire section for the wheat part done.
So for the cactus side of the farm, you need to put some sand on the second and fourth row of minecart rails, sorry, and on the first, the first time that the rail is powered, so right after the loop, you put some sand over these rails, and then you put some more sand every second block right here, like so, with a 1 space gap in between each, and you should reach the end like that right here. Now we're gonna put some cactus over these pieces of sand, like so. And like for the other side of the farm, we're gonna put a wall around the whole place. So you can use any block to make the wall. I like to use either solid blocks or glass, depends on everyone's likings. So you encase the whole farm in a wall. So we won't touch the inside wall yet, but we will need to put some observers right next to the cactus, like so. So when the cactus grows, the observer will see it and it will break it at the same time. So we can raise the wall one more block, and then we suggest adding glass panes right next to this wall right here, so that they break the cactus when the cactus grows up.
Okay guys, once you've got your solid blocks all the way to the end here, you will realize that there is an overhang here. It's completely up to you. If you want to start your wall just like that and then have the glass on top of it like that and remove these blocks, that's completely up to you if that's how you want to go. It's not necessary though. What we are going to do though is we are going to put pistons you'll see that we've got our observer here in line with this final row here. So we're going to put pistons on top of every single one of these blocks here, like so. And then we're going to put a solid block on top of all of these here. And then we're going to put redstone dust on top of every single one of these, like so. And then the same on the other side here. So we're going to put solid blocks in front of all the observers, just like that. And then we're going to put redstone dust running all the way along the top of every single one of these blocks. So once you've got all of that done here, the issue that you're probably going to have is you need to put pistons here like so. This one here, the water is behind there, so you have to be very careful. However, if you remove this block, it's just going to fall safely to the ground there. So we can place our piston like that. And again, same issue there. There we go. And now all our pistons are in place to harvest our sugarcane.
So now we're going to work on the sugarcane farm. So first to do so, we need to place solid blocks right here between the rails. One block above, like so. And then we do the same thing on the other side, if I can aim properly. And now we cover the rails right next to it with dirt all along this little minecart rail here. At the end, we can add any block, doesn't have to be dirt, but on the inside it has to be. Here we also need to make sure that there are blocks all around these pistons here, so make sure that the wall goes down to the dirt, just to make sure that we don't lose anything in that little hole that was there. And now we're gonna put water inside this little gap here. And we can start putting our sugarcane on this dirt here. So now that this thing is in place, we can add a wall around the whole place here. So just make sure that it leaves a 3 high space for the sugarcane to grow. And then we just make a wall and a ceiling around it, just like that. So now, whenever the sugarcane breaks, it's gonna fall right on this dirt here, and it won't fall anywhere else. So we're sure that the minecart is gonna pick it up.
Okay guys, for the next part here, we're going to do the melons and the pumpkins. So to do that, we're going to extend the dirt out over all of the rails just here, and we're going to fill this whole section in, covering all of the rails that are exposed currently. Now that we've got that done, you'll notice this is 8 blocks across. That's because the water will reach 4 blocks into the middle on either side. We're going to then hoe this in a crisscross pattern. So we're going to do every second block, just like, oh, not that one. Oop, break that. And that, and then we're going to do it like this checkers here, all the way across everywhere. Now that we've got our checkerboard of tilled soil, we're going to go around and we're just going to place these. So we're going to do one type of seed in one row, and now we're going to do our melon seeds on this row here, back to pumpkin seeds on this one here, just like that. So you just want to change them. And this was from originally from a farm designed by Il Mango, and they on the SciCraft server worked out that if you put pumpkins and melons next to each other instead of going pumpkin, 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 with an air block in between, they'll actually grow a lot faster. I'm not sure the reasoning for this. It's also the same if you put wheat, carrot, or potatoes right next to each other, they'll grow faster than if you just put wheat next to wheat. So that's just making this farm a little bit more efficient. Okay, guys, for this next part, we have to be really, really careful. So basically, if we break any of these now, this farming villager over here, if you're doing the wheat or the beetroot farm, he's gonna get obsessed with that tilled soil and gonna want to plant crops there, and it'll break that farm there. So you have to be really, really careful. So what we're actually gonna do here is we're gonna come over to the corner. We're gonna place some blocks up like this, and then we're gonna place a sticky piston facing downwards like that, and then we're gonna place a slab there. We're going to use jack-o'-lanterns for lighting. That's not only going to make the farm more efficient, but it'll allow us to place the redstone on top as well. So we're going to put a slab here, jack-o'-lantern, break the slab. Then we're going to go sticky piston, slab, slab, jack-o'-lantern, break that. Sticky piston, slab, slab, jack-o'-lantern, break that. Pretty tedious, but you want to do that all the way across. Okay, so once you've got your first row in, what I want you to do is just make sure that the sticky piston is over non-tilled soil. I'm guilty of that. I do it all the time. We're going to get to the very end here. We're going to place our slab, and then we're just going to come out like this. Now, you need to have a pumpkin sitting on a block to place it. If I try and place a pumpkin like this, it's just not going to work. But once there's a slab there, then you can do it very, very easily. So again, just repeat the pattern. We're just going to place sticky piston, slab, jack-o'-lantern, break the jack-o'-lantern, and do that until you've covered the entire area. Okay, so once you've got that done over the entire thing, what I like to do is I just like to put some blocks like this here, and then you want to put a glass frame, again, just like this, so none of the melons or pumpkins bounce out of the farm. They do kind of break with a little bit of ferocity. And then do the same on the other side here. So we're going to place our solid blocks like that, and then glass on top. The other benefit of that is not only can you see what's going on inside the farm, but glass is also spawn proof, so you're not going to have to worry about any mobs jumping up in your farm, picking up items, and then never despawning. Likewise here, if you see any areas that you want to cover up with blocks, then feel free to go ahead and do that as well. I will just say that you have to be very careful on this side here. If you were to put a block here, then the minecart's not going to work, so you will have to have that one piece of exposed dirt just there. Okay, so the next step is the redstone for the farm, and then we are done. Okay guys, so next step here is the redstone to power our pumpkin and melon farm, and this is really, really simple. Don't get too worried about the redstone. We're going to go 3 pumpkins in, so this is the first pumpkin, second pumpkin, third pumpkin here. We're going to break this block and break it there, and replace these with solid blocks. We're going to put a piece of redstone dust there and a repeater on 2 ticks. Now that's really important. Otherwise, the pistons will not retract the slabs, and you're going to have periods where nothing's growing. We're going to put redstone dust here, and then we're going to put a solid block on every single piston on this second row, just like that. What we're going to do next is we're just going to place redstone dust in a line all the way across like this. And then once we get to this side as well, we're going to go 3 pumpkins again, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to repeat that process. So we're going to break this block, redstone dust, and a repeater on 2 ticks, and then that like so. This block here isn't super necessary. Oh, actually it is necessary because we need to place redstone like that. So that's the next step actually. So what we're going to do is we're going to just place redstone just like this on every single one of the pumpkins here. And there it is.
So one last very important thing is you need to make sure that everything is closed off, just to make sure that you don't lose anything over, like from the top or anything. So we suggest going 2 blocks over the cactus here to put this roof, and adding some glass blocks, or any blocks actually, over the observers, just to make sure that there's no cactus that land on them. So once the roof here is done, we can go on this side here and add a roof too, just to make sure that there's nothing bad that lands inside the farm and that tries to eat the villager. So there we are, everybody. We are done with this tutorial. Now you should be able to build this awesome farm called the Garden Titan Junior.
Okay, and if you guys want to see the Big Daddy farm, the 8,000 item per hour all in one farm, the Garden Titan, go check out Aubni's channel. Hey buddy, you're back. Go check out Aubni's channel and yeah, subscribe to him. And leave a like on this video if you guys enjoyed it. Let us know that you want to keep seeing more tutorials from us. And yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye!